Hey guys, welcome back to another Flesh and Blood video. So today I'm playing Iyslander and I'm playing against Dorinthea, which is actually a very interesting matchup. So every time I see Dorinthea, I'm now a little bit more intrigued than I was the last time I saw her when I'm queuing into Talishar games. One of the guys on my team, Blake, has decided that he's going to be playing Dorinthea for ProQuest season, at least part of it, the first weekend. And it was a very last minute decision, and I'm intrigued by his decision very last minute because he didn't pick like a mainstay hero, like one of the big heroes. Like he didn't pick Briar, he didn't pick Iyslander, he didn't like pick Fi. He didn't swap to one of the big heroes that like everybody's expecting somebody to play. So I played a few games last night with Dorinthea with Josh Lau's list, and it was very fun. And it kind of feels like it just bullies the other aggro decks in the format, which I think is interesting. Now, I feel like it does have a little bit of a rougher time with the disruption decks. Now, maybe that's just my opinion, but it seems like it has a rough Oldhim matchup. Guardian as a whole doesn't seem very good. Bravo puts on a lot of pressure very fast, and that's tough for decks to deal with sometimes. Sometimes Bravo just goes burr and just runs you over, and that's all there is to it. But this matchup was really close, and there was a lot of swings and a lot of back and forth of tempo plays, and so I really enjoyed this game, and I just thought it was a really good game to highlight with a lot of like brain teasing function, like where you're really having to think and make right plays and stuff like that. So thanks for stopping by, guys. I hope you enjoy the game. And good luck. This is one that's definitely not on the Michael Hamilton sideboard guide here. I can't imagine why it would be. I don't think Dorinthea was planning on being a big favorite at Worlds. So let's see. We'll take out Energy Potion, take out Scar for Scars. Hypothermia is awesome. I really like that card in this matchup. Blizzard is also a house. I'm trying to remember how I sideboard when I'm playing this matchup against one of my buddies. I cannot remember what I take out for the life of me. I know I take out E-Pots and Scars, and then I know that everything else is like, it's like 3 and 2. I think I leave in 1 Ice Eternal. I think is what I do, and then I think I cut Frost Hexes. I mean, like, you don't really, like, need Frost Hexes to, like, beat Dorinthea. So... well, let's see. I've not been keeping up with this, so... I'm in the game at 3. Talishar... We're playing against Dory, and we're going second. All right. Oh. Attack with Dawnblade. I'm just going to block with 8. Like, if they have something cool, they have something cool. I'm, like, I don't know. Like, anytime I can block for free, I like to take those opportunities, especially against Dorinthea. I mean, Route is obnoxious. They're going to put the Frosting back into our hand because it's the worst 3 block that I added to the chain. At least I imagine that's what they're going to do. This looks like Josh Lau's list, so because they're on Bolters, Bracers, Tunic, and Hood. Yeah, this looks like Josh Lau's list. For anybody who doesn't know Josh Lau, like, you should like, pull your head out from under a rock. Josh Lau is he's very well known for playing Dorinthea. We'll go back to 36. We'll see if our opponent, if they give us a red, we're going to Waning Moon them. Use the Blizzard. If they give us a blue, we'll just hold the Blizzard. Any amount of damage that I can leak against these aggro decks, I'm happy to do so. We'll Arsenal the Polar Blast. So normally I would say this is a hand that gives us decisions, but it honestly doesn't give us a ton of decisions. Would like to find an ice card here, if I can. Finding an ice card would be great because it allows us to play the Aether Icevein, and then use and then Arsenal the Ice Bolt. Let's see what they do here. I mean, blocking with Wounded Bull feels bad, but I also don't hate it a ton. So I guess the question I'm thinking to myself here, is it better to block 2 and then deal 5 and Arsenal Ice Bolt? Or is it better to block with... I mean, I guess I'm blocking 3 regardless. I think blocking here is fine because, like, I mean, we're pretty much just going to give them another counter here, like, unless they just don't have a way to give go again. I mean, like, they could not have a way to give it go again. Like, it does happen. Yeah, I was like, I mean, it doesn't happen super regularly, but it does happen from time to time. So we take 2, go to 34, and then they'll probably bracers and then come in. And then we're going to try to use Aether Icevein and Amulet of Ice to try and take some tempo here. Yep. Yep. I mean, I could throw 5 and hope they don't have a 0, but that just feels silly. I think I'd rather just go to 29. And then I can basically, I can kind of be in the camp of committing to... Okay, so that was an Iron Song Pride that they have in their arsenal. I can just be in the camp of committing to blocking it out this turn because I'm taking a lot of their fighting power away. They'll probably pitch a blue if they haven't a spare blue here. They'll pitch a blue, take 4, go to 31, and then they will pay 2 off the other blue. Now, depending on what they do here, I am going to activate Amulet of Ice here. Like, getting as many cards out of their hand as possible is awesome for me. Glint the Quicksilver is one of the few cards that actually draws a card. I was like, what? I was very confused when I saw them pitching that. I was like, man, it definitely should have done that. Now, they will have Tunic here this turn. So this is a hand that blocks 7. Man. Let's see. I don't know. Might as well play the Ice Bolt and the Amulet. Eats the resources. I mean, it does eat the resources, and they're using Tunic like pretty quickly here, which means that they want to... They need that extra resource, I think. And yeah, we don't have any floating, so having the extra... oh man, they totally debated us right there. So I can block 6, and then arsenal the Ice Bolt. Because they either have a pump spell or they don't have a way to give... Like, they have to have a way to give it go again, or they have to have a pump spell here. I can block with Gauntlet, Wounded Bull, Cold Snap, and then I can block 6. We know this is an Iron Song Pride. Need to full block and get some counters off, I think. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking too. Like, because I know that this is an Iron Song Pride because they showed it to me earlier. If this is a pump, then all of our block was for nothing, which is a little depressing, but the chances of them having a go again versus having like a random pump spell are like about the same if this is Josh Lau's list. Yeah, I mean, like, so I'm only, like, I mean, they could pop Refraction Bolters here. Doesn't really feel... Okay, so they do decide to do that. Alright, so I can't take the counters off here. So I think I just need to arsenal the Ice Bolt here. Yeah. Like, I could stop them from getting another counter by blocking with Ice Bolt and Coronet Peak, but that just seems not good. I really need to see a channel like Frigid, a Hypothermia, like something here. Like, need to see something. Like, if we don't see Channel Lake, like, so I've played about 4 to 5 games into Dorinthea as Iyslander. One of my buddies thinks that Dorinthea is going to be in a really good spot for ProQuest this week. So, like, I don't know, like, you need to see Channel Lake, you need to see Hypothermia, you need to see something early to shut them down. I don't think this is play... I don't think this is play anything here. I think I'm going to block 8 and then have the sink below because Hypothermia is really good, but I think we need to take some counters off of this thing. And the only thing that's really a blowout is Route. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, Route is like cry yourself to sleep tonight kind of thing. Okay, so they have a Stillblade Supremacy, and they have an Iron Song Pride here. I mean, like, we're just going to keep the sink below here. So... this could be a really good tempo play for us if we take some damage here. If we're able to take some damage here, like, so... the problem is we can't play the Ice Bolt. We're pretty much blocking with only the sink below here. I could use the play of Pitch Blizzard to play Ice Bolt and deal them some arcane damage, give them a frostbite, and then use Brothers in Arms and Sink Below to try and cover this up, because this is going to be coming in for 6, and we'll have 8 block there, and they get a frostbite. and I get to Arsenal the yellow Aether Icevein. Like, now granted, I'm not getting to Arsenal something that I can really play during their turn as disruption, but if I'm able to, like, draw a Hypothermia or, like, a Channel Lake or something like that going into the following turn, then I will be able to take some damage, play a swing card in Aether Icevein, and then Arsenal another good swing card, so... So they arsenaled the Iron Song Pride here. So I know this is going to be for... I know they're going to, like, do this for 7. I mean, they could have a 0 for 3 here, but if they have a 0... They have to have a 0 for 3 in their hand. Man, I could put this on the bottom to try and find something like a Hypothermia or a... yeah, let's put this on the bottom and try to find something good. Now, this is a good card, but it's not what I had in mind here. Okay. This is an unbelievably awkward hand. So, basically means I can block with 1 card if I want to. So, I can block with Brothers in Arms, use the Tunic here for 4, and then... block here for 3, and then have Sink below, because this thing says +2, so it's coming in for 5, and I'd be blocking 7, which means any +3 is a blowout, which is bad. So I'm leaving myself in a spot where I can't play the Fighting Spirit. I can Brothers in Arms, Sink below for 8, and then I can pitch Emeritus Scolding to come in for 7, gain a life, and Arsenal the E-Strike. I mean, that also doesn't seem super advantageous, but it's 2 turns in a row of arsenaling cards that I can't play. That I can't play from Arsenal. I could Sink below the E-Strike here. So, having the Sink below in my arsenal isn't the end of the world. It's not exactly something that, like, I think is great. So, actually, the Sink below just might be a blowout here, because when they go for this Iron Song Pride from their hand, or from their arsenal, I can flash in the Sink below. Hang on. Is this worth taking 3? Because... they played Spoils of War, so they get 2 copper, which is almost irrelevant. And they have... while they have Go Again, they have no resources. And I know this is an Iron Song Pride. I think I can go to 18 and just let the turn end here. Because I get to swing 7 here, gain a life, go to 19, and then I get to Arsenal a Sink below. So again, while it is a card that I'm not able to actually like use as disruption during their turn, it is still very good. Just in the sense of like it really disrupts their game plan. Stroke of Foresight. Okay, so they're getting rid of 2 1-for-3s. Like, they might just be thinking I need to not take damage here. I want to keep the Polar Blast, I think. Okay. So, pitch Brain Freeze to play Polar Blast. And then I get to use my whole hand this way and keep the Sink Below in my arsenal. Are they going to pay? I would be... Yeah, I didn't think so. I was like, I would be intrigued if they did here. So I get to go back to 20. This gets Dominate, and I get to Waning Moon them. I mean, they can block with their bracers. They should, because these are just points they're missing out on by not blocking here. Like, it's 3 points. Like, they could still be at 22 right now. Ah. Dropping my shuffling cards. So this is coming in for 6, which means we want to be at 5. So block Insidious Chill, block Enlightened Strike. I could take the chance that like Sink Below allows me to cover up what I'm trying to do here. I want to keep the Hypothermia because it's a very good take tempo card. It allows us to have a very good turn. I sunk below an E-Strike already. So the one that's left in the deck is on the bottom. There's a Fighting Spirit and a Wounded Bull left as far as attacks are concerned because the Scar for Scars come out in this matchup. I could alternatively block Cold Snap, Insidious Chill. No, this is better. I'm just going to Sink Below, and I'm just going to use Cold Snap to Coronet Peek them on their turn. It actually has to hit, right? Yeah. So this is going to be for 9, which means a +3 won't do it here. And I know they don't have Route because they don't have Tunic up as a resource. I'm going to put Cold Snap on the bottom. Drawing Aether Icevein is fine. Make them put a card back into their deck. We'll target our opponent. I would love to see a channel Lake Frigid somewhere. Ask and you shall receive, I suppose. So this is coming in for 3. I can throw the Brothers in Arms here for 4 with the Tunic. And then I can play the Hypothermia. And then on my turn, I have pitch Amulet of Ice, play... No, this is a better turn to get Amulet in play. Yeah, I'm just going to say no blocks and then flash in the Hypothermia whenever they try to give it go again here as a reaction. So this is just for 4 without go again. So this is very bizarre. This is a very bizarre hand. I mean, so that's just it? They're just passing? So I can... This is like, they really caught me off guard here by not having go again. I mean, I think I'm keeping the Hypothermia here. Like, Hypothermia shuts down a turn. Like, I guess I'm just gonna play Amulet of Ice. play Aether Icevein, fuse with Channel Lake Frigid, and then I'm gonna like Waning Moon them with the Channel Lake. Yeah, I don't know. There aren't many things that truly catch me off guard. That like kind of like leave me like speechless, like where I like really have to like think about what's happening here. They played their Iron Song Pride there, which is interesting. Because it's like, where... I understand why they did. They got an extra point of damage there. Maybe they would have given it go again. Like, maybe they... Did I reveal the Hypothermia earlier in the game? No. Like, they do not know about the Hypothermia. They'll probably just go to 13 here if I had to guess. And then, let's see, how many Aether Iceveins is that we've seen? We've seen 2 red ones, and I think I pitched a yellow one somewhere along the way, so I'm not super concerned about cracking the Amulet of Ice here. If we did not have Hypothermia to shut their turn down, then I think I would be on the crack Amulet of Ice line here, because I think that it gives me a better shot at like stifling their turn. So the real line of play here, if I can get away with it, is to block with Aether Hail, use Hypothermia as a blowout play, and then pitch Aether Hail, put Insidious Chill into play, Arsenal, Channel Lake Frigid. Now, granted, I know that this still has us taking 1, but I think that with me trying to get the Channel Lake Frigid into play, you really want to have Coronet Peak around if you can, especially on the first one, because Coronet Peak is something that allows you to block and just keep a blue ice card and just pitch it to Coronet Peak. So it allows you to keep Channel Lake around and strip a card from their hand, which is very valuable. Hypothermia resolves, they get a Frostbite. They're going to draw a card off Glint the Quicksilver. I've watched them pitch 2 Twinning Blades so far. So, I mean, I guess they could go get a Twinning Blade here. Right? For an attack reaction card. Yeah, so they can get Twinning Blade here and play it, which would give them an extra attack. And if that is the line they go for, I'm going to block on the second attack with Aether Hail, Insidious Chill. They go for Biting Blade. I think they're just trying to push as much damage as possible here. Makes sense. Yeah, I think Insidious Chill is worth more than 3 points right now. One of the alternative lines would have been to pitch Insidious Chill to Waning Moon and then pitch Aether Hail to Coronet Peak. But I think this is a very good play. With having Tunic up, I am able to also... Wow! I was going to say I'm also able to Waning Moon them. Okay. That's the third Twinning Blade. Alright. Pitch Yellow Aether Icevein. Play Channel Lake Frigid. Pitch Frosting to play Wounded Bull for 8. And then Arsenal the red Aether Icevein and try to use that, well, paired with Stormstriders to take tempo of the game. Or I could block out and then keep 2 cards the following turn, knowing that I'm going to keep Channel Lake around. Or the alternative line is don't play Channel Lake, block for 11 and pass. I think getting Channel Lake into play is important. This has been one of the weirdest games I've ever played. Like, all the cards and the hands have been very awkward. during this game. It's felt like I felt like everything has been like just so bizarre. So still Blade Supremacy does not give go again. And them drawing it, the on-hit effect of them drawing a card is irrelevant. But I will go to 4 here. They cannot have a 0 for 3. They can't do Tunic. They can't do Energy Potion. They can't do anything here. So this is just 6 no-go again. Because Bolters is gone. And then I get to come in for 8 physical and then Arsenal Aether Icevein. And I get to keep Channel Lake around. Oh boy. I love the Iyslander deck because there's just so much natural, intuitive counterplay in Iyslander as a hero that it makes the games very fun and very interactive, and it's really like a brain exercise. I will say, if anybody that watches my streams has ever played Magic, I always played Burn a lot, like red aggro, and like those things. While there were decision points and important decisions to be made, they did not stretch my brain nearly enough. Not like this does. Iyslander has found a very special place in my heart as a hero because she is so complex and so complicated and really punishes me for not making sound decisions. So let's take this as an example. I need to keep Emeritus Scolding Blizzard. Blizzard does not help me. Okay, let's count here. 5, 6, 7, 8. They go to 5. Again, they don't have any resources floating, so we know there's nothing that's going to happen. This is such a weird play because what I'm about to do is extremely inefficient, and it's actually over blocking for a point. So I block 7, I go to 5, I play Red Aether Icevein, fuse with Blizzard, and then I can Arsenal my Blizzard. And then I have a Blizzard in my Arsenal. I'm at 5. My opponent probably takes 4 if I had to guess and goes to 9. And then I lose my Channel Lake, but Blizzard does serve some of the functionality that I need that Channel Lake kind of serves. Also, Insidious Chill is a house here. Man, this has been a heck of a game. There's been a lot of swings here. So they pitch Remembrance. I saw them pitch that earlier. I'm curious to see. Oh no, my foot warmer turned off. All right, so they take 1 like I predicted. We could crack Amulet here. I could crack Amulet here to take a card out of their hand. And then I could Waning move them for 2 if I wanted. So I could put them to 7 and then leave them with like 1 card here. But then I have no Arsenal. I think Amulet of Ice is definitely the play here. So they pitch a yellow. I'm going to make the decision of pitching Blizzard to Waning Moon my opponent. They cannot use Tunic here. His Channel Lake is still active. So I need to be able to deal 9 with what I have here. The fact that they use Tunic is very scary. So is there any way for me to block 3 and just guarantee that I don't die? I mean, if they have a 0 for 3, they've played all their Iron Song responses, right? Or Iron Song Pride. Where's Iron Song response at? I know they've played it. I've seen it somewhere. There it is. Iron Song response. 0 for 3 with Reprise. So if they have that, plus another card, plus another 0 for 3, I'm dead. If they have blue card and if they have blue card and if that's blue card, if either of these cards, if this is route, I'm dead to blocking with 1 card. Man, this is incredibly tough. So my gut tells me that the safe play is to block with Channel Lake Cold Snap. I guess Channel Lake Polar Blast. I mean, I could just block 8 here, keep Cold Snap and pass, or keep Channel Lake. I could block 7, keep Channel Lake and pass, and then go for the kill next turn. This seems like the optimal play. I can't imagine there's a world where I'm dead to anything here if I'm blocking 7. 1AB is interesting. So 1AB is actually what Josh Lau runs in his list. So it is. This seems like the Josh Lau list, like with like his guide and everything, like just based off of like what I did last night in a couple of games I played. Wow, now that is a blowout. So we overblocked and they had a Twinning Blade. And they're just, I guess they just wanted to arsenal a different card. Gonna arsenal Channel Lake Frigid here. Heart is insanely clutch right here. Also, just Heart win the game. Like, not Heart, but does Ice Eternal win the game here? Am I able to use Tunic to go Storm Striders? And then I have Ice Eternal for 3, fused with Ice Bolt. And then I can also use the Ice Bolt here. So that's for 3. So they discard a card. They're going to pay 2. I honestly think Channel Lake might just be better. Channel Lake and then Arsenal the Ice Eternal. I like going to 6 here. I mean, Channel is like extremely stifling to their turn, so I'm going to go ahead and Waning Moon them here and see what they do. See if they prevent any of it. So he did prevent 1. And then Spoils of War. Going to come in for Dawnblade for 5. if I block Ice Bolt, Insidious Chill, Tunic, I'm blocking 6, which means they have to have 7 to push over the top. And then I'm pretty much just able to kill them on the following turn. With, I mean, should be able to draw almost anything to win the game. Okay, so I take 2, go to 4 here. And then they're attacking for exactly 4. Because Out for Blood gives +1. Well, it does make things more interesting. So I'm forced to block here, take 1 and go to 3, and then now I need 7 points. So, I mean, I need 7 points to win the game here. And Chief called, this ain't it. I have 6 points. Oh, man. Which means he takes 4 and goes to 1. But maybe I can also stop his turn. So I have to... And then I get left with a 3 block. Or do I get left with anything? Okay, so... Yeah. I mean, I guess they could be left in a spot where they don't have a resource left and we can get them somehow. Alright, let's wait. See what they do here. The bad news is that I'm not in a spot where I can block with a card and still win. Because I have to pitch Amulet of Ice to activate Stormstriders. I then pitch Brain Freeze, reveal Blizzard. Okay. So even if that's a red, we're still short. And this is for 5 Dominate. Okay, so even if that's a red, I'm still short 1. Right? Because they can prevent 2. And we have 6. And there's just no way to do it. I mean, I guess we can if we block 3 and then they play something in response. We pitch Blizzard, activate Stormstriders, pitch Amulet of Ice, play this, and then Waning Moon. I mean, it doesn't have Go Again. And now they're dead? Because they have 1 left and they take exactly 5? Wow. Okay, cool. They'll go to 3. Because they have no more resources, they don't have Tunic. Yeah, I don't know about this one. Like, this one feels pretty... This one feels pretty shady. Like, if you... you saw you were dead and then reverted back to the beginning of the turn. I meant to prevent one of both, but it won't matter, I guess. I mean, like, you can't prevent one of both. If you do anything differently here, I'm going to concede. Like, I'm not... I was like, listen, I don't know anything about my opponent, but I'm not playing the game here where we pretend like it's okay to do stuff like this. Because my opponent knows better. Okay. I mean, my opponent played it out just like they would have. So, like, I tip my hat to them for that because I'm not going to lie. I thought that was about to get pretty bad pretty fast. That take back was silly. It was silly. Okay, so this was a very close game that came down to Stormstriders at the end of the game. Now, Stormstriders is one of those cards that you very rarely ever use unless it's going to win you the game. That turn was very hard because there wasn't a clear path to victory, and we kind of had to wait and let our opponent play and do things before we actually decided to do something. Now, like, looking back on it, it might have been safe with the Insidious Chill trigger to just go ahead and play Infuse because the Insidious Chill trigger makes my opponent discard. But if they have a blue that they discard, they have 2 resources left, so it makes it to where I'm still going to lose. Waiting and seeing that my opponent had another red in hand and then them playing it to only have 1 resource left allowed me to win the game there. That was tough because I didn't really know if I was going to come out on top of that one. I mentioned after the game that I didn't see Hypothermias until a few turns into the game. Like, it had been 5 to 7 turns before I ever saw Hypothermia. Hypothermia is a very good card. It allows you to just play it, block 6 to 7, however your hand is aligned, to make sure you knock off the counters, and then you just get to... you just kind of get to, like, take tempo of the game that way. Also didn't see a channel like Frigid early on in the game, and Channel Lake Frigid is one of those cards that can really slow down tempo. We were about 5 to 7 or 8 turns into the game before we saw Channel Lake Frigid, so I am now 3-2 as Iyslander against Dorinthea. I do think it's a very close matchup. I do think that Dory can punish you if you play, if you sleep on Dory. So if you're playing Iyslander going into ProQuest season, my advice to you is that if you play against Dorinthea, do not sleep on it. Your big cards are Hypothermia, Channel Lake Frigid, and your big Aether Iceveins are good. I'm way more aggressive with my Amulet of Ice in this matchup than I am in most matchups because I want to hold on to them and use them at a better time. But in this matchup, I'm very quick to just throw my Amulet of Ice whenever I have one. So like if I put an Amulet of Ice into play and then I play like a red or a yellow Aether Icevein, I will probably pop my Amulet of Ice right away unless I'm sitting on a Hypothermia or sitting on a Channel like Frigid, because those are cards that can really disrupt your opponent's turn. So just a little bit of advice. Guys, I appreciate you stopping by. If there's any questions or comments, hit me up in the comment section below, and if not, we'll see you next time. Take it easy, guys.